What's up everyone, Ray Arch here and welcome back for another video on romancing SaGa Re universe. Today we'll talk about the upcoming banner and we'll analyze all the exclusive styles that come along with it. So this one will have one for Red, one for Polka, Katarina, and Hector. The most powerful one here, or the one with most potential here, would be the New Year's edition of Polka. That's because he has access to parry and can help you clear the tough content later on in the game. But whether this is the right one for you, it would depend. Because right now we don't really have much tough content, so it's not really necessary to get a style with parry yet. I mean, I don't even have the SS style for Albert, and I can clear all the content fairly easily. And what makes Polka strong is, well, his ability and skill set. So in terms of skills, where's the skills? In terms of skills, he has one that can stun, and he has one that has parry. So the most important here, obviously, is the ability with the technique with parry. This SS skill, you probably don't need to use this so much because he's not a style meant to deal damage. You're supposed to bring other styles to do that, and that's further emphasized in his ability list. So the very first one is like the taunt. The second one would reduce the damage. Even if you're not full HP, you'll still reduce damage. And then finally, you have an ability that sort of self-revives you when your HP goes to 0. So these spell out tank. It's purely for tanking. In terms of attribute resistance, it's pretty standard, usually tanky against slash damage. And let's look at his stat growth and compare this to Albert. So first, let's look at his stat growth. This is gonna be on the maximum style level. I think this is like a bit of late game stats, but for reference we'll use it for now. So the New Year's edition of Polka will max out at 182 endurance, 193 strength, then what else do you need here? Spirit 148. So let's compare this to Albert. Albert is over here. Let me find him. It's right here. I missed it. And Albert's endurance is a bit lower, so 169. His spirit is, or in the English version, this is willpower. It's almost the same, so 150. Let me compare that again. Where is Polka? Yeah, spirit's almost the same. The only difference is the strength, but you don't really need to worry about that because you're not meant to deal damage anyway. And in terms of abilities over Albert, I have another tab here for Albert. Let's see his abilities. Okay, so he also has parry, obviously, and then he has a basic damage skill. Doesn't do any crowd control or stuns, and he has another SS damage skill. Again, these are not really that important. When you pick these styles, you're not supposed to put them on autoplay. You're supposed to manually play them so you can use parry. And in terms of Albert's abilities, he can cure status ailments, do some HP restoration, and can also taunt. So it's a bit different. His style is a bit different from Polka. I guess Albert is better in long fights, so he can abuse this self-regeneration. So for example, those stages where there's 10 rounds, and he's also good against stages where there's a lot of status ailments like confusion. All in all, I think Polka would have been a great choice if there's hard content. Right now, I don't think there's a need to get him. I will personally wait it out. I'm gonna wait for the styles that deal more damage. And anyway, in the future, there's a better tank over Polka, and that is SS Julian. Okay, that's enough for Polka. Let's move on to the next. And here we have the New Year's version of Katarina. In the Japanese website here, it's spelled Catalina, but it's the same style. Don't worry about it. And in terms of abilities, let's scroll down over here. So just a standard damage ability. Also has a ability that can reduce agility. I don't think abilities that reduce agility is very important right now. Abilities that reduce strength or int are much better, so I wouldn't rate this so high. And then this version of Katarina has an S skill that just deals damage. In terms of abilities, it can self-sustain the BP, heal some HP so it can work like a tank, and then increase the damage dealt. Do I think this is a great style? I think it's okay, but it's not something where I'm gonna use all my gems to try and get it. You can totally skip this ability. I don't think it offers anything unique to the current pool of styles in the game. So if you already have a decent slash style, you can skip this version. Next one, we have the New Year's version of Hector, New Year's style of Hector. In terms of stat growth, it's pretty average. By the way, in this website, I don't think it's accurate. Refer to this one instead for stat growth. Actually, let's pull up the one for Hector. Where's Hector here? Is this guy Hector? Yeah, he's Hector. I don't know why his name is Street Fighter. In terms of stats, he doesn't really offer anything significant on stat growth. I mean, this version definitely has higher cap, and if you have the SS and the A style Orion, you can totally skip this guy. Okay, so in terms of his skills and abilities, let's scroll down over here. So withdrawal standard, this is pretty standard. Enemies side by side, I think this means a row of enemies. That's pretty okay, but you don't really need it all the time. Then Bear Crush. This Bear Crush is a pretty strong slash attack, so definitely a good one. In terms of his abilities, increasing own strength. So this one, it's just okay. I mean, on all styles, it's pretty okay, but I don't think it's the most reliable ability, unless you are gonna play a stage that has maybe 10 rounds. And then he also has an ability to reduce damage at full HP. So this ability is only really good if he has another one that can self-heal himself. Because if he gets hit and you need to spend a life point of a healer to restore this, and I don't think it's worth it. And attention up 4, this is pretty good. So if this weren't, or if this wasn't designed like this, like if he had some other ability that could self-sustain, maybe he's pretty decent, but for now he's just average. So again, it's not necessary that you get this guy or this style. If you already have a good slash style, you can completely skip him. Next one, we have Red. So you're thinking, okay, why do we still need to get the S version of Red if you already have, let's say, Alkaiser? Well, sometimes we need to consider the stat growth. Some styles have better stat growth or higher stat potential than others. But I haven't opened up the one for Red yet. We'll see. So let's do that now. In terms of red stat growth, he should be around. Where is Alkaiser? Yeah, I'm not the best at searching through these sprites, but here he is. Okay, so this version of red, okay, in terms of strength, he matches Alkaiser, so we don't need that. In terms of endurance, okay, he seems to have the highest cap of endurance. So you definitely want to get him if you are planning to maximize your Alkaiser, because Alkaiser has pretty good damage and can self-sustain. I think this one stands for, I think this is dexterity, so you're just matching all of them. In terms of speed, I guess you could get him for that extra point, but not necessary because there's another version of Alkaiser that has the highest speed potential. Knowledge, not really that important. Spirit is willpower again. Love is, I think, love, and then fascination is charm. So we only need to get this version of red if we are planning to focus on making Alkaiser stronger. And then in terms of his abilities, I don't think there's anything special about his abilities, but let's find out. Okay, bullet, I forgot the exact name in the English version, let me open that up. But I believe the A version of red already has this. Unwillingness, we already have this also. Palm, okay, I think this is the new one. But again, I don't think this is very important of an ability. Let's just double check. So red is over here. Yeah, so I think bullet means Sobat, it's the same thing. Unwillingness means punishing palm. And then this skill, don't know the English version for it, but if you have SS Alkaiser, I think Alphoenix is just as good. In terms of his abilities, it's pretty standard. Tension up 2, expression of energy to self-sustain some BP, and then a bit of agility when hit. So nothing too special. Like if you have Alkaiser, there's no point to use S version of red, or there's no skills to get from S version of red. We only need him to maximize the endurance. Okay, so there is one more style, and that is gray. Let me go back to the events here so I know what style to search. Use and okay. So this will come in an event. So you can also get him, I believe you can get him for free. Let's search him up in this website right here. So this website, I'll post it in the description. Yes, it's in Japanese, so I recommend you have some translator ready. And Control F doesn't work, so I need to look for it this way. So while that's loading, I will get gray over here. So for this style, I recommend everyone to get it. It's not a very powerful style, but it has one of the best abilities, especially when there's a half stamina event. So his style will look like this. Let me just load it really quick. And maybe better if I use a filter. Okay, you know what that means. Large sword. He should show up. Okay, is this the right one? I think, yeah, this is the right one. Alright, so while this is translating, let's head straight to why everyone should target this style. He has this ability that increases your XP at the end of every battle. So if you imagine during the half stamina events, especially at the lower level, you don't run out of stamina, and then you always refill your stamina bar every time you level up. So if you have this version of gray in your party, you get even more XP, which means there's less downtime for you where you have to wait for your stamina to fill up because you'll already level up before you run out of stamina. So this is pretty much the highlight of why you should get him. On top of that, he has just okay abilities. He has an ability that reduces damage when he has full health and increase of damage with tension up 3. In terms of his skill set, he has one that has a chance to paralyze. So I think this is one of the better 3 BP skills, but it's really hard to pull them off unless your style has good growth. Another one is standard damage, and then finally a sword or a slash attack with a chance to stun. So nothing so special about this. Would have been great if he had some regen to maximize this ability, but unfortunately we don't have that. But that's not important. We get the style for rapid growth 3, and we get it to maximize or to minimize our downtime when we have to wait for stamina. So that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a like if you liked it, dislike if you don't like it, subscribe and share if you like, to help me out on the YouTube algorithm. Thank you all, and bye for now.